It's a chill morning, really, in the city of Jos and its environs. This morning, we'll be taking you on this very exciting and very informative and interactive journey into the world of politics this morning. If you can hear my voice, then it means you're really rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, this morning is the 17th day of December 2024. In a few days, we are going to be celebrating the Christmas, and I believe you're well prepared. Those plans, those beautiful plans that you have to actually achieve before the Christmas, I hope you are doing something about them, and I hope you are already achieving them. They are becoming a reality or coming into fruition. Well, if they are not, don't give up yet. It is still not yet time to give up. There's still a few days to the end of the year, and in 24 hours the story can change. If you are resilient and then focused and then you're consistent in what you're doing, trust me, the result will come with time. This morning we're not going to be doing it differently. We're doing it the same way we're used to doing it, in 3 segments. The first segment is going to be the newspaper review, while the second segment is going to be the transit segment, where we'll bring to you analysis into contemporary issues as it concerns politics here in our dear nation Nigeria. And the third segment is going to be the interactive segment, where you will call in and give your submissions and contributions as to the issue we have in the house, or the issues that you have an interest that you want to put out there to the appropriate authority to come to your aid. Do I need this time for you to call? The number to call is 07032353315, and the number to send your SMS to is 08163141141. Well, you can get us on Facebook on Unity FM/TV Jos, and on YouTube you can get us on Unity FM TV. Just remember, as you go about your business today, don't forget there's no human that is more human than another human, and the only quality that you have to present even in your afterlife is the way you treat humans while you're here on earth. The great book will say, whatsoever you do to the least of your brothers, that you do unto me. The impact you make in the life of people is plays a very key role in the quality of life that you live, even in this sojourn of life. This morning I was coming from Gadabi. While on my way to the studio, I saw something that touched me. Just by Ola Hospital, I saw a woman wearing a blue hijab with 2 children actually, and she is actually a beggar. While she's begging, someone came passing, another beggar came passing. He is a cripple. She saw the condition of this man and she called him and gave him alms. Wow. That goes to tell that giving is not a show of affluence, but a condition of the heart. Actually, I was touched by that very gesture I saw this morning. If that woman can do that, then we are expected to do more. So as you go about your business today, ensure that you impact somebody in the little way that you can. It might be little to you what you're going to do, but trust me, it will go a very long way to the person you're doing it to. By the end of today, be rest assured that the joy that will come with the day will be tied around the impact that you make in the life of somebody. Well, this morning I am going to be taking you on this ride. I'm going to be your anchor. Michael Pedro is my name, and as usual, I'm not alone. I am blessed to be graced with the presence of an erudite analyst, one who will lend his voice to the cause of humanity without flinching, one who will go extra mile to push for the cause of Nigeria. He is an academic juggernaut. He's here with me in the house, and he's no other person but the person of Professor Paveno H. Bameyi. He would want to say good morning to you this morning. Professor, you're starting.
Good morning, Michael Pedro. You're looking fantastic this morning.
Thank you, sir. You're looking good.
Viewers and listeners, a beautiful good morning to you. If you're in other parts of the world that is not morning, then good afternoon and good evening. Suda Makan, Pedro.
Suda, sir.
Suda. What about you, viewers and listeners? Suda Makan, have you eaten? Or do you even have something to eat? You know, this beautiful morning, beautiful day. If you don't have food, why don't you check out your neighbor might have something? Knock on the door of your neighbor's house and tell him or her, please, I don't have food. There is joy in sharing, in giving to people, just like Pedro was saying. And it is wonderful when you have something and then you share with someone. Give to those who don't have. On this beautiful day, let me remind you that the year will soon end. 2 weeks will be entering 2025. It's just like yesterday we said, Happy New Year. 2024. Soon it will be Happy New Year 2025. How far have you gone with your goals, your objectives, your dreams for 2024? Have you achieved them? 90%? 100%? 50%? Well, if you've not finished achieving your goals for the year 2024, you still have a few more days to go. Today is December 17th. And so in 2 weeks' time, you can still achieve those goals before going into the year 2025. And of course, you can have more goals, more dreams, more visions for 2025 and beyond that is coming. Remember, your goals, your objectives must be SMART. And that means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Remember, you're going to meet a lot of opposition on the way as you pursue these dreams, these goals, these objectives. A woman I love to talk about, Wangari Maathai, the Nobel Peace Laureate, the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize, faced a lot of opposition growing up, a lot of adversity growing up as a girl in the Kenyan society. She had to overcome so many things. And then she was faced with the problem of drought in her country. She mobilized the women in their hundreds and in their thousands, and they planted thousands and millions of trees in Kenya, giving birth to the Green Belt movement that earned her the Nobel Peace Prize. This woman faced problems in her marriage to her husband, that the husband even asked her, divorced her. The husband did not only divorce her, but said, "You must stop using my own name." That Maathai, she just added one more alphabet, one more A to the Maathai, and said, "I've changed the name." That did not stop her from achieving great things. That did not stop her from advancing in life. You will meet opposition on the way. You will meet difficulty on the way, but in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Tough times don't last. It is tough people that do. I tell you the truth. If you perspire and keep perspiring to acquire what you require in life, you will achieve it. Don't retire. Just keep refiring. Don't say that Nigeria is the reason why you are not making it. Some people have made it in Nigeria. You can make it in Nigeria. Don't blame the government. You can live above the government. You can be the government of yourself. Don't blame your background. Your background cannot stop you. This Professor Maathai that we are talking about came from a very humble background and became a global citizen. So don't blame your background. Don't say because my village is not on the map of Nigeria. No. People have placed their villages, their places on the map of the world because they were diligent and they were focused and they were determined to achieve great things in spite of their backgrounds in life. So today as you go out there, make a difference in somebody's life. Make a difference in your own life. Make a difference in your community. Make a difference in Nigeria. Make a difference around the world and be the change that you want to see in the world.
Thank you so much, Professor, for that wonderful motivation this morning. It is always the first, the highlight of the day for me, and I believe it is the same with a lot of people out there. Well, without any further ado, I'm just going to look into a few newspaper headlines this morning, and then we will continue from there. I will be starting from the Matrix. The Matrix has this to say. It says, Supreme Court dismisses fresh suit seeking Tinubu's removal. Fines ex-presidential candidates 5 million for harassing president with frivolous suits. EFCC nabbed 792 crypto fraudsters in Lagos. inside Tinubu's 47.9 trillion 2025 budget proposal, Federal Executive Council earmarks 161 million euro for procurement, upgrade of power substations. Budget proposal presentation to take place tomorrow as deficit hits 13.13 trillion. Presentation postponed for final adjustment to proposal. That is the minister. FG renames Uni Abuja to Yakubu Gowon's University. Again, Nigeria's inflation rate surges to 34.60% in November. Tinubu appoints 8 new permanent secretaries, and that is from the metrics. The blueprint has this to say. Says 2025 appropriation bill jumps to 47.9 trillion from 27.5 trillion 2024. That goes to tell that this inflation rate is really having an effect on the naira, because from 27.5 trillion to 47.9 trillion is over 100%. It's almost 100% increment. Tinubu presents bill to National Assembly Wednesday, that is tomorrow. Federal Executive Council names Uni Abuja after Gowon approves free train rides during Yuletide. FGOK is 100. Okay, I've taken this on the other newspaper. It says EFCC recovered $248 billion, $105 million other confiscated asset in 2024. ICPC 685 billion in cash, and then 966,900 in assets. 193 foreigners, 599 others arrested for cyber crime. There seems to be a serious increase in the cyber crime, and then I saw an analyst yesterday online trying to justify the fact that this is only happening because there are no jobs available for the youths, and then these youths are tech inclined, so the only thing they can result into is making money using whatever means online. That is not a justification though, but again, I think the need for employment, gainful employment for this Gen Z generations that are tech inclined, that are really into tech, should be looked into, because sincerely that has given rise to cybercrime in recent time. Lukman to OBJ, Gowon, IBB, Goodluck Jonathan, Buhari form opposition party to defeat Tinubu in 2027. Once without unity, opposition will continue to play into APC's hand. Benin delegation visit Yakubu's INEC for lessons on running flawless election. Lessons on running flawless election in Nigeria. Wow. Tinubu approves free train rides for festive seasons. I think those are just the news this morning on different newspapers. It's just a representation of this news, more of the massive increment on the budgets from 27 trillion to 47.9 trillion since last year to this year. Majorly, that is just a headline on most of the newspapers this morning.
All right, so we can see that the budget for 2023, 20, and then 2024, and now we're talking about the one for 2025. Increasing the figures doesn't solve the problem. As long as you're dealing with a hyperinflation, skyrocketing inflation, galloping inflation, you can say 47 trillion. It's just a number. What is the impact on the lives of the people? The last one, 27 trillion, did it change anything? Did the lives of Nigerians become better? That's why some of us are not interested in a budget or no budget. The president was supposed to present the budget today. He's not ready. Even tomorrow, we are not sure he's ready, because they are currently, as of this morning, still negotiating between the presidency and the National Assembly whether he'll be able to present the budget tomorrow. And they need to look at some aspects of the budget and do some more work on it. But my problem is not even having a fantastic budget on paper. It is always the implementation. We have a very wide deficit. We don't have money. And we want to borrow and keep borrowing to fund, the budget. And that is a problem in itself. There is no way your economy will grow that way when it is an economy of borrowing. I mean, even the elders have a saying that he who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. He who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. I mean, if you are a borrow man, your life is full of sorrow.
Of course.
I mean, you can imagine some people maybe at the beginning of the year, they've been borrowing money since January, and now we're in December. Their lives will be so frustrated. The people they borrowed from will be disturbing them. And that's why when Obasanjo came in 1999, he went around the world. Probably that's one president whose trips around the world paid off, because the Paris Club, we ended up with a very fantastic decision by leading economists to cancel our debts, and say we've forgiven you. And then during Obasanjo's time, he knocked our debts to 0%. But after him, what has happened? Look at what is happening today. Already, the federal government is talking about borrowing humongous amounts from the World Bank, from the IMF, from different nations. They're just borrowing. And when you keep borrowing, there is no way your country would not be full of sorrow. Because he who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. And so, that is why we see so much sorrow in the economy of Nigeria. That is why we see so many crises. That is why the bag of rice that you bought for maybe 40,000 last year, this year is already 90,000, 100,000, 110,000, and even more in other places. That is why the things you were buying for 200 naira now is 1,000. And then the salary and the wages have not proportionately increased in accordance with the hyperinflation in the country. So, what I'm able to use Buhari's 30,000 minimum wage for in 2023, when His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over in May 29th, 2023, that 30,000 naira minimum wage now has been increased to 70,000. That 70,000 minimum wage now cannot do what 30,000 naira minimum wage was doing under Buhari's administration. The 30,000 naira minimum wage before May 29th, 2023 is more than 100,000 naira now equivalent in terms of value.
Yeah, very true.
So increasing the minimum wage to 70,000 is just a joke. It's just that we have a clownish government that is just interested in comedy. They're not serious. I mean, how can you are not even ashamed to even call the figure 70,000 as minimum wage in Nigeria? I mean, the president should be ashamed of himself. Our governors should be ashamed that minimum wage is 70,000, and some of them are even struggling to implement it. These are people who travel around the world. Which country in the world is giving their citizens the equivalent of 70,000 naira as minimum wage? They go to the UK. They go to the US. They go to Germany. Oh, they will say those are industrialized, developed countries. But go to Malaysia. In fact, go around here in Africa.
As small as Seychelles.
Go to South Africa. Go to Ghana. Go to small countries here in Africa.
Yes, as small as Seychelles. I just checked yesterday, and then I got to know that their minimum wage is $460. $460.
And a Nigerian professor earns less than $300 a month as salary. Isn't it a joke? Are we serious, people? And then you're presenting a humongous budget that appears humongous. 47 trillion looks big, but it is in naira. By the time you convert it to dollars, I mean, you're just joking. So we don't have leaders who are serious to fix the economy, to fix the problems, the crisis in this country. They are not serious people that we have in power. But maybe we should just keep that aside a little bit and congratulate the elder statesman, General Dr. Yakubu Gowon, because the University of Abuja has been renamed after him. Of course, though the Federal Executive Council has given the directive and have done it, it has to still go to the National Assembly for formalities. But you and I know that it's going to the National Assembly just a formality because we have a rubber stamp National Assembly. So they will just rubber stamp it, and that is all. So now the University of Abuja will be known as Yakubu Gowon University. And General Yakubu Gowon is somebody I like so much as I like some of the leaders we've had in this country in the past. This was one man that kept Nigeria as one. If you did not achieve anything, at least Nigeria has remained as one indivisible country. In fact, during his days in power, his name, Gowon, was used as an acronym for Go On with One Nigeria. Go on with one Nigeria, go on. I mean, he was a young man, 32 years old, when he became head of state in 1966, after Agui Ronsi and the crisis that came. And then today, he is 90, celebrated his 90th birthday. And he's still strong, still energetic, still able to move around. But becoming head of state at the age of 32 and getting married as a head of state and leading Nigeria during the time of the Civil War, probably the most difficult time in the history of our country. I think naming the University of Abuja after him is well deserved. We have Ahmadu Bello University. It used to be University of Northern Nigeria when it started, 1962, thereabout. And after the Sardauna Sokoto, the premier of the northern region, was assassinated in 1966, January 1966, those assassinations, Ahmadu Bello was assassinated, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and others. A lot of assassinations. That extremely bloody coup of Ziogo Kaduna. After then, the University of Northern Nigeria was renamed Ahmadu Bello University. Of course, we have other universities in the country that have been renamed. We have University of Ife, that was renamed Obafemi Awolowo University. And then here in the north, we have so many. Bayero University is there, Kano. We have the former Federal University of Technology, Yola, becoming Modibo, Adama University, and University of Sokoto became Usman Danfodio, University. It was only University of Lagos that resisted being renamed Moshood Abiola University. When Goodluck, it was, during Goodluck's administration, he attempted to rename Unilag as Moshood Abiola University. That was resisted by the university, resisted by the alumni around the world, and he had to step it down. But probably that's the only time we had stiff resistance to renaming universities after elder statesmen. Now, for University of Abuja, I can't foresee any resistance to it. It's a wonderful thing as far as I'm concerned. But my problem with our governments is this. Renaming a university doesn't make it better. Let's talk about funding of these universities. Just because you've renamed it from University of Abuja and it has become Yakubu Gowon University, is it going to be a world-class university?
Not at all, not at all.
Is the funding going to increase? That is the matter we should be talking about. Are they going to get more infrastructure, more equipment? Are they going to be doing cutting-edge research because there is funding? I mean, that's what we should be talking about. Our politicians will always try to score political points by, saying, I've set aside, this is a democracy day, and then you please the people of the Southwest, and then, okay, I've renamed the university, given it a fantastic name, and then I will get, the goodwill of the people from that part of the country and all that. The politicians always are very calculative when it comes to politics. They want to score political points. They want to gain some popularity. I mean, they want to cash in on the goodwill of the people. But renaming University of Abuja as Yakubu Gowon University is just one small tiny thing that the government has done that they don't deserve any applause. Nobody should clap hands because you renamed the university. Are you going to fund the university? I've been to University of Abuja several times.
Changing the name of a madman will not actually make the madman.
That university, the first time I went there, I thought it was a secondary school. Some years ago, I went to University of Abuja, Gwagwalada. It was a secondary school. In fact, I entered offices of lecturers, heads of departments. I saw they were using plastic chairs. Plastic chairs.
Unfortunately.
I still remember that vividly. So, I mean, that university located at the Federal Capital Territory should be about the most well-funded university in the entire country. But that is not what we're seeing. Even up to today. I was in University of Abuja this year. I've been there, and I will still be going there more and more and more and more. And the structures there do not befit a university located at the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria with all the humongous amounts of money politicians are wasting in other things. And that's a public university.
It's really
the federal government should invest in the University of Abuja.
If you come to Nigeria, the most visited states in Nigeria will be Lagos and Abuja, and then the university in Abuja is not as organized as it should be. It gives a very negative image to Nigeria. But when we come back from this very short break, we'll be having more of this conversation. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. We'll be right back in a jiffy.
This is Unity FM.
Due to the frequency of unity, the voice of reason, the voice so clear and crystal, put your mind on the stereo. United we stand, divided we fulfill the pleasure of the groove. Unity FM 93.3, the voice of reason.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go. Before the sun rises, make a hay. You want me to close me? Lele. I be all over your finger like Lele. We be flying in the air like Iris. Taking all over the stereo, what's next? All the stations I beg, do vex. Now we defeat your playlist. All the tunes we play in the pitch piece. So break chain, it's time to be free. A reason with the voice, 93.3.
Unity FM 93.3 we hear. Unity FM, the voice of reason. Unity FM, the voice of freedom. Unity FM, the voice of reason. The voice of reason. The voice of reason. Unity, yeah, voice of reason. Unity, oh, voice of reason.
Unity FM 93.3, the voice of reason.
From the home of peace and tourism, this is Unity 93.3 FM.
Advertise your goods, services, and products here on the all-new Unity 93.3 FM. We are the station you have been waiting for. Take advantage of our wide coverage, quality programming, unique listenership, and unbeatable rates to promote and market your products and services. For us at Unity FM, your satisfaction is our driving force. For placement and inquiries, visit our marketing office at number 62, Zenaria Hill Layout, Jos Plateau State, Nigeria, or call us on 080-253-22266, 080-5223-1992. So come talk to us today and we will put your word out there.
Short break. If you can still hear my voice, then it means you're still rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity Train. This morning, we have been having a certain discussion of interest with the professor in the house, and he had a lot to say about the budget 2025, the massive increment from 2024 27 trillion to 47 trillion, an increment of about 20 trillion, 20.1 trillion in the 2025 budget. And then he had a lot to say about the impact of immortalizing some of our political elites and how much more that just changing the name of the university from what it is to another will not actually make any impact if we are not decisive into the funding of the universities and then making education a priority. Well, I'm just going to give him back the mic so he would continue from where he stopped before we went on that very short break. Professor,
you see, education in Nigeria is underrated, underfunded. Politicians make noise, but they do very little for education. The budget allocated to education is less than 10%.
Unfortunately.
When UNESCO is international bodies and organizations are talking about 25% of budget should be allocated to education. We've never even gone halfway. A few states in the country are doing fantastically well. Anambra State, Abia State, I think even Gombe State in recent times have been able to meet that minimum and even go beyond it. But at the federal government level, peanuts are allocated for education. But the same federal government keeps establishing new universities. Now they have approved Federal University of Education, Pankshin. It's taken off or has taken off. Already we have a Federal University of Agriculture in Mubi. The last time I learned that they have not even been given a take-off grant to start. There is no structure, nothing there in place. But the Vice Chancellor, principal officers have been, appointed.
To come and do what?
I wonder. And many other universities. And they are going to approve more. More are still waiting. When the president was assenting to the bill establishing Federal University of Agriculture, Mubi and others, there were 14 other universities waiting for him to assent. And many more have come up. So establishing universities has become like a constituency project of our senators, our politicians, and they don't care about funding these universities. Now, already, we've gotten approval for the Federal University of Mining and Geosciences. Here in Jos, yes. I mean, we celebrate it, but will you fund it? That's the problem. It is not just having universities that are just secondary schools, that are just mere names.
Yeah, glorified secondary schools in the name of universities.
Are you going to fund these universities? I mean, why don't we become serious for once in this country? And you know the reason why some people celebrate when these new universities are established? Even in the academia, people celebrate. It is because somebody wants to become a vice chancellor. Somebody is saying, wow, this is my opportunity. This is my time. I'll go and become the vice chancellor. I'll go and become maybe the DVC or the registrar. I'll go and occupy a position there. I'll be able to eat some money there. Even when they know that those institutions will not be properly funded and will not even be worth the name they're given as universities. Look at all the universities we have in Nigeria. There is no single university in this country called Nigeria that can compete favorably with universities in South Africa and in East Africa.
Even here, nearby Ghana here. Just Ghana here.
Look at the ranking that we're talking about. Nigerian universities are always rated very low when it comes to ranking. Always. The best universities in Nigeria, around the world, will be ranked maybe about 1,000, above 500. While other universities, if you're even ranking universities in Africa, the first 7 universities, the first 10 universities in Africa, you will see South Africa, you will see East Africa there. You will not see any Nigerian university among the first 10 universities in Africa. And it is not that we don't have the brains. It is not that we don't have the expertise. It is not that Nigerians are the most intelligent people on earth.
Undoubtedly.
Nigerians can beat a computer. Nigerians can compete with any computer and still win. Nigerians are highly, extremely intelligent. But we don't have leaders, unfortunately. And because of this, our universities are underfunded. And because they are underfunded, they cannot perform. But we have the brains. But because of some political considerations, even things that should ordinarily be done in our universities here in the country, they will prefer to go and give universities outside in America, Europe, and Asia to do it, when we can do those things here in Nigeria. Some years ago, in one of our universities, they brought some equipment. Let's fix this equipment. They said no, that they will need to bring experts from outside the country to fix them, and that we cannot fix them. 1 year passed by, those equipment were not installed until students went on rampage at Luther. The students went, it's not University of Jos, it's another university, I don't want to call their name. The students gathered and had a protest and marched to the Vice Chancellor's office and said, Mr. Vice Chancellor, today the faculty of engineering in this university must be closed down if they cannot install this equipment. We don't need a faculty of engineering. Close it down so that we know that we don't have engineers in this university. If you have to bring people from abroad to fix this equipment, to install this equipment, close down the faculty of engineering. Today, we are not living until you close down the faculty of engineering. The VC rallied around and got, within 24 hours, those equipment were installed. Somebody just wanted to make money by bringing people outside the country. Nigerians installed it. The Faculty of Engineering installed those equipment. Within 24 hours, it was done. We can do all these things, but our politicians and some unpatriotic Nigerians want to always bring people from outside the country so they get more money in dollars. Because when you bring those expatriates from outside the country, you're not going to pay them in naira. Our naira is not worth giving expatriates. They will have to be paid in dollars. And then you will also get something in return. So this nation is blessed with brains. This nation has the best people on earth, but unfortunately, corruption has eaten deep into the fabrics of our society, of our government, of our communities. It has eaten so deep that our leaders are so extremely corrupt that anything they think about is what will benefit them, is corruption, pecuniary avarice.
So much so that even some universities in Nigeria don't even print their certificates here. They have to take it outside to print certificates.
Isn't that a shame?
It's a shame, sir. It's a shame. When I discovered this, I was really, really baffled. It baffled me to know that just common certificates we cannot print in this country. We take it to UK, to the US to print certificates with the claims that the quality of the certificates and this and that and that.
So our universities are underfunded, Pedro Michael. And if you go and see how much vice chancellors receive to run the universities, it's a joke. It's a joke. It tells you that we don't have a federal government that is serious. At the federal level for education. At state government level, we don't have governors that are serious about education. To run their state universities, they run their state universities, as if they're running primary schools and secondary schools. And so, that is a problem. So, you may have a humongous budget, you might rename a university and do all that. That will not solve the problems of the country.
Not at all.
We need to fund our universities. And we need to put in infrastructure. This is what ASU has been fighting for over the years. And the only thing the government wants to blackmail ASU for is that ASU is asking for salary increase every time. All the other things that ASU is talking about, they will just keep quiet. If ASU was just interested in our salaries being increased, I mean, we had that offer years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Years ago, we were offered that your salary will be increased, but allow us to introduce tuition fee, and Nigerian students will be paying 1 million, 2 million, you know, as school fees. And we said no. They said if you allow us and they pay this humongous school fees, your own salaries will be increased. You won't have any problem. But if you don't agree, then your salaries will continue to be peanuts. We said no. You cannot make Nigerian students to pay through their nose just because they want education. We resisted it. And we're paying the price for resisting that. They have refused to increase our salaries over the years. If we had allowed them, students would be paying 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, or even more now.
Is it a shame to even put that into consideration, considering the fact that other nations are looking at giving free education to their people, to their citizens? Here we are looking at how to increase the school fees to a humongous amount that a lot of Nigerians cannot pay. We say we are going to increase to $1 million when the minimum wage is just 70.
Now, students are not able to pay it.
Yes,
I'm telling you, my university now, the session has started. Some of our students have not been able to resume. They cannot afford 90,000. They cannot afford 100,000. To even pay 45,000, they are not able to. It's very difficult for them. Some have dropped out of our universities because of 45,000 naira, because of 90,000 naira. And yet you want to increase it. I mean, are we serious in this country? You want education to only be for the children of the elites in the society, so-called big people, the bourgeois, you know, in the society.
Sometimes you're left thinking about thinking of the mentality political elites or our leaders have. It seems like they don't even care. They can burn the country and then rule over the dust. They don't care. So far,
after all, their children are studying in Harvard, in Oxford, Cambridge, Cornell University, outside the country, in Germany, Australia. Their own children are studying outside the country. Is it not the same politicians that refused to allow the bill to even pass through first reading that was going to stop public officers, public servants, politicians from sending their children abroad to school?
True.
They did not allow the bill to see the light of day. Because they want to exploit the country, they want to take our resources and send their children to other countries to study. And they don't want anybody to stop it. If they were serious, every senator in this country, none of his children should study abroad. All the members of the House of Rep, none of their children should study abroad. All the governors, the president, vice president, all the ministers, everybody holding public office in trust, none of their children should be studying abroad. But we don't have serious leaders in this country. And so they keep sending their children outside the country to study. And that is why they are not interested in taking care of education. Because their children are not here. So they are not feeling the impact. They are not feeling the impact of the rot and deterioration in the educational system, the dilapidated buildings. Our students will be taking lectures and the roof is leaking on them during rainy season.
I had that experience when I was at university.
Some will be standing outside to receive lectures. Some will be sitting on the stairs to receive lectures. They will stand all through for 2-3 hours. They are receiving lectures. And you want them to perform magic and be like the ones in Harvard, the ones in Oxford. I mean, it is not fair. It is not fair. We don't even have electricity. Electricity is a problem. Go to some of the hostels in these universities. Even your dog, if you put your dog in those hostels, he will not agree to stay there. They're looking worse than IDP camps. You see the toilets, you will be greeted by maggots and all manner of things, smelling as if it is not being used by human beings. And that's where our children are studying. In those universities, our children are staying in those hostels, living in those hostels. And the government doesn't care.
Really unfortunate.
Fund universities, they will not fund universities. Improve infrastructure, they will not. Even the third phone now, that is virtually the only thing that is still keeping universities together. With the new tax reform. That tax reform, if it is fully implemented the way it is today, it will kill third form, and so it will kill education in this country.
There's a claim that third phone is exempted from the whatever effect the tax reform bill is going to be having on
that is just
education.
A claim.
Yeah, actually it's a
at
claim.
The end of the day, that's how they will come in with cunning craftiness. And before you know it, they have put third phone under another parastatal, another MDA, and then they just muzzle third phone, and then third phone is gone. You go to some of our universities without third phone, those universities will not be existing.
Very true, sir. Very, very true.
So the government has to do something about funding. That is cardinal. That is very, very important that universities be funded. Not just renaming universities, not just making a big noise about universities, not just establishing new universities. What have you done with the existing ones? Are they well funded? Are they well equipped? That is what our focus should be, to equip these universities so they can compete with Harvard, with Oxford, with Cornell, with Cambridge, so they can compete with Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so they can compete with universities in Australia, in New Zealand, in Canada, in Asia, and all over the world. That is what we should be doing. Instead of, it is not the quantity but the quality of the universities. Stop saying, oh, we have so number of universities in Nigeria and so number we are establishing. No, it is not the number. What is the quality of those universities?
With the right mindset, a lot of things can be put in place. It's not like we don't have the resources to actually fix these universities or do the right thing. But the fact that we have the wrong people with lack of political will has kept us where we are. This was going to take us to the conversation on youth participation in politics, and we have Mr. Isaac Bitrus Ngida in the house to take us on that very, very journey this morning. Mr. Isaac, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Pedro. Firstly, I want to extend my profound gratitude to you for having me here. The young people play a critical role in the socio-economic development of any nation, but yet you can still feel the impact of poverty here in Nigeria. So for us to move forward, we need today's thinkers for tomorrow's vision. So as we go on, we'll talk more on how the young people can participate toward changing the narrative of Nigeria.
Actually, I agree with you. That very assertion you just made, we need today's thinkers to change the future of tomorrow. Is that how you put it? Well, I think I would really agree with you, because I personally am of the opinion that the reason why Nigeria is still where it is, and the reason why we are still struggling to actually progress, both in terms of just in terms of development generally, is because the same leaders we had during independence, the same mentality that was transferred by the colonialists to these very leaders is the same mentality that is being used to run this country up till today. The opportunity has not been given to the youth to actually come in with something new, because there has been an evolution even in politics across the world. You can tell of people like the likes of Cameron. You can talk of people of young presidents around the world that have come and then they've really made impact. But in the case of Nigeria, you keep hearing people saying, or the leaders saying, the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. But then that is just a statement, because tomorrow has never ended and will never end. What do you have to say about this very assertion, the youths are the leaders of tomorrow?
You know, the challenge we are having here in Nigeria, the monetized politics. So young people who have the vision have it very challenging to participate in politics, because they have already monetized it. You see you can see a young person with a vision, but the way that they have already monetized it, like Prof just said, Gawon was 32 years when he was the head of state in Nigeria. But once a young person is coming out now, 40 years will tell you have to go and gain experience. But in other developed countries, the young people are the ones changing the narrative, because for any country to thrive, the young people plays a very critical role in the socio-economic development, because our fathers, the ideology they have then is different from the ideology we have now, because the world is evolving, but we need the young people to actively participate in politics. So It's very challenging for us here in Nigeria because our leaders don't want to give us that opportunity to explore our potential. So,
but don't you think that some youths have been given opportunity and they've massively abused it? I would use example. Just recently, we just had a case, the bail of a governor, a sitting governor from Kogi State, a past governor from Kogi State in the person of Yaya Bello. He should be termed a youth, right? Yeah. And then he was given the opportunity to be the governor of Kogi State for 8 years. And in 8 years, there's nothing you can really point at that he has done. And then a lot of people, Nigerians, you hear people saying, chatting on the street, saying that the youth keep asking for the opportunity, and when they are given the opportunity, they abuse it. Do you have something to say about this very assertion?
Once we talk about successful governance means making your society better than you met it. The challenge that we are having in this part of the country is the issue of greed and corruption, because I don't see any reason a young person will hijack that amount of money just because of greed. Because with what we have in Nigeria, I don't think there's any reason for anybody to go home hungry, because we have the brains, we have the human capital development, but the issue of greed and corruption is what is affecting us, even the young people.
So, you spoke about monetizing politics and all. Yes, I would agree with you with that very angle. Do you have something to say about the recent policy, the past policy of the administration of His Excellency, the past president, in the person of Muhammadu Buhari? He signed into law the bill that's, is it not too young to rule? Is there something that is frustrating that bill from coming into fruition? Or
the not too young to run bill, I think they were just chasing shadows, you get, because the bill was passed, but yet you can see that most of the young people still cannot participate in politics with the way they monetize it. Just imagine, like APC, they sold the form of a president for 100 million naira. With the economic crisis of Nigeria, where do you expect the young person to get that amount of money? Even though they passed the bill, but the issue of funding, that's where the challenge is.
I would agree with you that just a few months after that very bill was passed was when the APC actually sold the forms for presidential primaries, right, for 100 million naira. And that is a strategy to actually keep the youths from engaging or involving in politics, except if one godfather or godmother somewhere believes in you and then hold your hand to actually want to sponsor you to vie for a political office. You cannot do it on your own. Is there a strategy you think the youth can adopt in order to make this youth participation in politics possible?
I think one of the ideas and strategies the young people can do is to come together and pursue a certain goal. I can remember the issue of the Arab Spring that happened in 2011. It was the decision of one person that changed the government of the day. So we, the young people, we can also change the government of the day. Once we put our effort together, I think we'll have a thriving nation.
All right. When we come back, we'll be having more of this conversation with Mr. Isaac Bitrus Ngida in the house. He is going to be taking us into this very journey of youth participation in politics, and we'll be having more understanding as to why the youths are struggling to be to be involved in politics, or the reason for which or the strategies to adopt in order to actually be part of politics and change the course and narratives of the current narrative in Nigeria. We'll be going on this very short break, and when we come back, we'll be having more of this conversation. Please stay tuned and don't touch that dial.
Just makes you wanna love some more. Its sweetness conquers every hate. The taste of it just makes you know peace. Love, sending chills to our hearts. love, building our consciences. Love is our only consciousness. We live, eat, breathe, and even sweat love. Cause love is our greatest weapon. Love is what we live. Love is what we practice. Love is what we wanna share. Cause love is all. Love is just love. Love is unity. Unity 93.3 FM. Voice of reason. Voice of reason. 93.3 FM. Unity FM. Voice of reason.
Unity 93.3 FM.
There is a place where everyone is different yet happy. Where love and friendship fills the air. Where togetherness is a tradition. And diversity is a strength. Just City, home of Unity, 93.3 FM.
Reason it.
Technicians, we know our parts. We're gonna get it right, aren't we?
Yeah. Voice it. Champion it. It's Unity 93.3 FM.
Yep, okay, here we go.
Just.
Face it, the only thing constant in radio is change.
A lot's changed since 1967.
You've evolved with your listeners.
You used to play this.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now.
Now you play this. Unity 93.3 FM.
Reason it.
Okay.
Voice.
Listen, 93.3 is the voice of unity, bringing peace to your own community. Okay. Listen, united we stand, divided we fall. Let's welcome unity with a round of applause.
Champion.
Okay. Listen, united we stand, divided we fall. Let's welcome unity with a round of applause.
It's Unity 93.3.
United we stand, divided we fall. Let's welcome unity with a round of applause. Yeah, let's welcome with a round of applause. Let's welcome unity with a sound of applause. Let's welcome with a round of applause. Let's welcome unity with a sound of applause. Sound of applause. Let's welcome unity with a sound of applause.
It's Unity 93.3 FM.
With a sound of applause. Peace.
In Just City.
Echoes are made of many voices.
Kuna tare ne da sautin gidan rediyo na
Unity FM.
If you can still hear my voice, then it means you're still rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity Train. We are at the third segment of this very program, where that segment that I call your segment, the segment where you can call in, give your submissions and input, and also complaints, and put it out there to the appropriate authority, using these as a channel When it is time for you to call, you can call 07032353315, and then to send your SMS, you can send it to 08163141141. I'll call the number for you to call again, 07032353315, and to send your SMS, 08163141141. You can send your comments on Facebook to Unity FM/TV Jos, and on YouTube you can send it to Unity FM TV. Well, we were having a conversation with my guest in the house in the person of Mr. Isaac Bitrus in Gida, right? Bitrus in Gida, and he was taking us right into the conversation as to youth participation in politics, and he's just going to be taking us giving us a little insight or educating us on the reason and for why we should allow youth to partake in politics or to be active in politics. And after that, we'll be opening the phone calls for you to call in and give your contributions and submissions. Well, you can start sending in your text messages to 08163141141. Mr. Bitrus, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you once more, Pedro, for having me. Like I earlier said, we need today's thinkers for tomorrow's vision. For us to change the narrative of Nigeria, we need the young people to actively participate in politics and decision making, because there's no nation that thrives without the young people, and we, the young people, have something to contribute in order to change the narrative of Nigeria. You know, when they say Nigeria is poor, it's not that Nigeria is poor, it's because of the poverty of our minds. And what we need to do is to enlighten the young people to see the new Nigeria of our dream, because no one will change Nigeria for us. Nigeria will be changed by Nigerians, and we, the generation of the young people, are the ones that are going to actively participate to see that we bring Nigeria on the global map. So this is a clarion call to the young people who have the vision and the will to change the narrative of Nigeria, because it begins with the will. You can have the ideas, you can have the solution, but you need a platform. That's why engaging and also being a partisan member of a political party is very important, because you have to begin there. You have to be a member of a political party, because there are some kind of decisions that you won't be able to make unless you are in the seat of power, because you can only be advocating, but there are some policies and there are also some challenges amongst us that unless you are in the seat of power, you won't be able to make that policy. So I'm encouraging the young people to actively participate toward changing the narrative of Nigeria, because this is the only country that we have, and if we don't change Nigeria, nobody will change it for us.
Well, I know about this, a lot of youths that want to partake in politics, but just like you rightly said before we went on the break, politics has been so monetized that a lot of youths cannot partake in politics, right? We spoke about the not too young to run bill by the then president of Muhammadu Buhari, and then the fact that after the bill was passed, just few months later, APC was selling their form for actually a humongous amount of about 100 million naira for a form. So, and that has played a very vital role in keeping the youths away from being active in politics, because there are very few youths that can actually afford that money without necessarily depending on the one godfather or the other. And you know the effect of godfatherism is once they sponsor you into office, you hardly have a mind of your own. They would want you to be loyal to them and then do their biddings. So in order not to end up entrapped with one godfather or the other, do you advise that the youths go for smaller political parties that they can afford in order to run for political office? And if yes, don't you think that Nigerians are so used to some few political parties that when you vie for an office under a small platform, they hardly will support you?
I want to give an example with the present Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly, Honorable Diwan. I think when he was contesting for the seat of the House of Assembly 2023 election, so many people underrated his capacity. But he has the will and he has the vision. And once people know that you are going to change the narrative of their society, and also you are bringing change, because the issue of political party now is, I think, more people are being enlightened. People now follow candidate, not political party. But funding a movement and going under small political party is kind of challenging, because most of our people are the grassroots, because this is where the chunk of the vote is coming in. Most of the people at the grassroots, they only identify with two political systems. So running that kind of movement, the enlightenment, is going to be even more cost effective than even running for the seat of the president. So going under small political parties, it takes a lot, and also the finances you are going to use to run that movement, to enlighten the people there, is going to be very challenging. But you need to start setting up structure down to the units. So if you are planning for 2027 and you are going, let's say, under ADC or ADP, the right time to start is now, so that you are going to start enlightening the people at the grassroots, because they only know of two political systems. But I know with time our people are getting more enlightened that it's not only about political party, but someone that has the interest of the people at heart.
Well, the last question I'm going to ask you, that I believe is in the heart of some of my listeners, is this. Just recently, the 2023 concluded election brought in some youths into power under the platform of Labour Party. And in recent times, you see these youths defecting to other political parties, leaving the political party that actually brought them into office. Don't you think that is playing a key role as to making certain people not to believe in the youths, and then pushed for the cause of the push the youths into political offices in order to represent them one way or the other?
I think the challenge is all about interest, because politics is all about interest. So because the opportunities and also the privileges coming to those that are majorly from the main political parties, I think they tend to give them like more advantage than those that are coming from small political parties. So I think they feel joining the main political party was going to give them an edge. That's why you see most of the young people joining other political party, because of the advantage that comes with it.
Okay, well, with all that being said, I'm just going to open the phone lines for you to call in and give your contribution and submissions as to the issue we have discussed this morning, and other issues that you have at heart that you want to put out there to the appropriate authority. The number to call is 07032353315, and the number to send your SMS to is 08163141141. You can send in your comment on the Facebook on Unity FM/TV Jos, and on your YouTube you can send it to Unity FM TV. Well, I have some few text messages that I would want to read out this morning. It says, "Good morning, Mike, Pedro, and the Prof. Nigeria have borrowed beyond money expectation. The budget of 2025 of 47 trillion will have no impact on Nigerians, because the money will end up in the pockets of the cabals instead of developing the agencies and sectors. I hope the government will allocate the budget to department for proper utilization. I pray they should have the zeal, vision, and patriotism with this budget. Remember, the huge debt on Nigeria is still hanging to be paid. Let's see how the budget will help this country." Regards to Cool B and Barrister Emmy Longs from Agingi. Mr. Emmy Longs, thank you for this beautiful text message this morning. Hello, good morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Thank you very much. Great coverage. I don't answer by Solomon. The voice of the voices on the plateau. I'm calling from Ngwarukuba.
Okay, Mr. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, presenter. Prof has spoken very well, and the other guys have spoken very well as well. Well, let me tell you, I want to speak concerning the budget area. As far as I'm concerned, presenter, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Thank you very much. To me, I am not contented with the budget in this country. I'm not, as an individual. You know, we have stages of start of budget. They are always very anxious to present budgets with high amount of money, but they have never come down to explain to Nigerians whether the budget run at the end of the run as surplus budget, either deficit budget or balanced budget. They are always anxious to present budget, and nobody holds them accountable. You see, let me be frank to you. Nigeria is not only a real democracy, and that is why I don't believe in the budget. Let me just make comment on the reason why young people join in politics. Be frank to you, to me, anybody can join the politics. There are some young people that they have been given the opportunity, but they are given the opportunity. And you tell me, the governor of Kogi said he's not up to 60 years. He's just among the young people. What is his result today? Many of them have been given the opportunity, they abuse the opportunity. And also some elders, they have abused the opportunity too. So we have not really practiced the democracy. Democracy is the government of the people, but the people are for the people. The question is that are they operating for the common man? Thank you very much. Go ahead first. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you for that very wonderful contribution you just gave this morning. And that is one of the challenges, like I said, that the youths outside there will be asking questions as to whether we have not given opportunity to others. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Benedict is calling from Venezuela.
Okay, Mr. Benedict. Good morning. It's been a while.
Thank you. So let me take it from the last caller.
Okay.
He is actually saying that Comrade Antibas is telling us Nigerians that he doesn't believe in the project. The million and one Nigeria, in fact, the 200 million Nigerians doesn't directly benefit from the project. I want to say this is practically on the air. Over 200 million Nigerians. Nigeria is rated about 260 to 260 million when it comes to population. From 2006 to today, even though the population census has supposed to have been repeated like 2 times before now. But if you go to the lives of Nigerians, the trillions of naira that nation are only good at listening in the ears. And it breaks my heart that the people that this video should reflect their lives are actually they know the trillions that the nation, they know the sufferings are multiplying. They know the nation, the budget in trillions. They know the terms of suffering and hardship Nigerians are passing through. So it is right for me to believe in the ideology of the first caller who said that he doesn't believe in the budget. The budget is made for the people, for the National Assembly, for the presidency, for the vice president, for the political elite, and for the ministers, and for all the people that have been appointed by the executive. This is the people that the budget is meant for. And not for the common man. You are budgeting over 3 trillions of naira for Nigeria. You cannot fix one road. Nigerians cannot do the state. The federal government, over a year in the annual budget, cannot fix just one state road. Lagos, by the express road the budget has been coming like as if it is going to come forever until the kingdom come. If we are going to see budget in trillions, we cannot boast of common water. Water, which is life. Something that countries like Ghana doesn't even talk about it again. Just Ghana here. How many states does Ghana have? What is the budget? The issue of water, not drinking water for people. And you are budgeting trillions, we are budgeting trillions, and the people cannot be able to pay their children's school fees. You are budgeting trillions, and you cannot even talk about electricity. You don't even work for your own citizens. You are budgeting trillions, and then the education, the condition of education in Nigeria is collapsing and dying on daily basis. Even though the students are going to pay more, and most of the people are like the father said, have been dropping from this school because they cannot afford to pay the tuition fee. What do you want me to believe? The budget is only meant to make sure that the National Assembly is functioning and their cars are being maintained, their house allowances are being maintained, their roof allowances are being maintained, their children are being taken good care of. You are talking about trillions of naira in budget, and then to make sure that the executive is living comfortably so that they can travel to any country of the world comfortably and come to tell us that we investors. My brother, we are the investors. So let Nigerians give you their debt and make sure that you are living just this for you. If somebody is telling you that the budget is being made for you, that so that it can reflect in your life, make sure that your life is going to be comfortable. You are lying to yourself because you have seen it over and over. only the one section, not the National Assembly is taking 16 to 17% of that of the Nigerian national budget. And that is even there. And then the worst under APC is that if you calculate it, I had the point saying that it is less than 10% of the national budget that is has been agreed for education. My brother, if even that's less than 10%, the implementation is going to even go less than 5%. The implementation is going to even go less than 5%. So what am I talking about? It doesn't care, the executive and they don't even care about how the masses survive. They don't care if the child of the ordinary man go to school or not. The most important thing is that money is made available for them to take their children to school, take their concubines to school, tell them where they want to travel, and they leave the 200 million people, whether you need or not. Security is even the other nation about that. May God deliver this country from the hands of the wicked. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Benedict. Mr. Benedict sounds very bitter this morning. Actually, it is actually the feeling. I understand the feeling, Mr. Benedict. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Bashir. One time, don't calling from God.
Bashir, one time, don't call you. Good morning.
Yes, I want to contribute from what your guest is saying.
Okay.
I'm also appreciate Professor and the guest in the house. I want to contribute about the youth being contributing in Nigerian politics. We have been seeing how some narratives have been changing from our local pitch. That our present House of Rep, House of
Assembly,
State House, Honorable Adamu Aliyu. See how under 2 years, look at the development he brought for us. Now, if you go to Savannah, you see the primary health care there. If you go to Ongorogu, you see the extension he built it. If you come to Asian, you see how he tells the place and built a bathroom. If you go to bathroom again, you see the primary school building. And it's a young man, which under 2 years, he did this. And we have spent about 20 years. Today, we did not go to a dictionary representative like this young man. So I don't know him in personal, but I appreciate what he did. So with this, even one person did not perform as a leader like Yahya Bello, will not be considered that you will not go into politics. We can go into politics, but look at now, we take that example with this very man. So what I want to contribute here, the government should reduce the money, reduce the money against the politics. So thank you very much. Let me give another people chance to contribute. I am Bashir Dankoli.
Thank you, Bashir Dankoli. Bashir Dankoli will always remind us of the impact of Adamu Aliyu, especially as it concerns just not constituency, state constituency. Adamu Aliyu has been doing wonderfully well. That goes to tell that actually there are youths that would do well if given the opportunity to actually contribute their quota. Good morning.
Thank you very much. And the guest in the studio.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Adewumi calling from Bauchi Road.
Mr. Adewumi, you're welcome.
Nigeria youth, hello, can you hear me?
Very well, but loud and clear, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, Nigeria youth, sometimes I used to wonder if we are ready to rule. Honestly, but even not too young to rule. How many people voted for the not too young to rule? How much youth have mobilized themselves to ensure that the not too young to rule party stand?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
If our leaders, like Muhammad Buhari said, Nigerian youth are lazy, which actually is not correct. Nigerian youth are not having conducive atmosphere to rule. You understand? And that is the major reason why we are having. When they said the not too young to rule, they want to support me. How much did they spend for? Was also for 100 million naira. How many youth mobilize themselves to ensure that we get a particular youth to rule? You see, whether we like it, people are the future of any form of democracy in the world. You understand?
Yeah.
And today's youth are, even whether our leaders like it or not, the young are the... and I actually believe that if we even bring new ideas and something more progress, if we have the youth in government. Because honestly speaking, let me just come this way and conclude like this. When President Muhammadu Buhari ruled Nigeria, I think Nigeria was very young and he's full of ideas. But you will imagine when he came back, he's okay. You understand? So I think I want to advise the youth, let's be wiser. I don't think the youth are ready to rule. And that's my just to put more effort to see what we can do in the gradual process. And in as much as we can rally around one another, we will ethnicity strife or religion or the divide and rule policy that has been done by some of our leaders, present leaders. So that at least we will not continue to rally around the circumference, around the same circumference, around the edges of the circumference, having other people in politics. Let's always look inside, inward. The youth must look inward, unite ourselves. In as much as we can unite ourselves, then we will surely get it right. So let's just be wiser. I just want to advise, let's be wiser, let's don't give up. It's a gradual process, and I actually believe one day we will get it right, and Nigeria will create the thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Adewumi. I have this text message that says, "Good morning, Professor and Mr. Pedro, with your guest. Sincerely speaking, the innovation and then changing Abuja University to Yakubu Gowon University is well deserved. Due to his background, achievement, and magnanimity with selfless service to the country. Perhaps it's also a great lesson to all our leaders and the entire youth. If you do good, you see good." Ismail from Jos. Thank you, Ismail, for that wonderful text message. This one says, "Good morning, Mr. Pedro, and an able, consistent, and passionate analyst, Professor Bameyi, and the guest. Kudos for your wonderful, educative, and objective analysis. Honestly, our leaders don't patronize education, and this is so unfortunate. Talking about youth participation in politics, it's no news that our young people form the highest part of the population, but unfortunately, most of them don't participate in politics. The only way to sustain democracy is when the youth participate in politics, and I think these young people should be sensitized on the importance of them participating in politics. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM Plateau State and Nigeria. Christy Islam from Rukupa Road. Thank you, Christy Islam, for this wonderful contribution of yours this morning. This one say, "Good morning, Mr. MP and PB, and the guest in APC and PDP presidential form is too cost. What about other parties? If you all depend on Allah with due resilience, He will certainly give you provision as He gives to birds who go forth hungry in the morning and return with full belly at dusk. Be kind to all." Hassan Gadbra, thank you. I just reading this text message. Even before getting to your name, I know you're the one that has sent in this text message, because your text message is always unique and different. It always comes with prayer. Thank you for the text messages you send to me every morning. I really appreciate it. I want you to know that I don't trivialize it. Thank you so much. Guest, your last words to the people before we go out of the studio this morning.
By one word for the young people is that they are the change that Africa needs and Nigeria. They have all it takes within them to change the narrative of Nigeria. They should actively participate, not even in politics, but toward changing the narrative of even their society, because the future of Nigeria is dependent on each and every one of them, and we need them to change the narrative of Nigeria.
Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. And then the last words to the people. From me to you, do have a blessed day today. Go forth and prosper. And by evening, you will come back with good testimonies as to your struggle and whatever you are doing. You're going to be successful at it. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. God bless you. Bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.